Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of The Shed, hashtag Irish Bulls Mafia with me, Trevor. You're very welcome along. Um, it's draft week, so we're almost there now to see which of the new prospects go where, and all the guessing is going to be done, and who'll be right and who'll be wrong. As you can see, I have my new cap and new top, Bills top, got for draft week. It's not the official stuff, but this is the original logo from the Bills. I like it. I like the new one that's on. I wouldn't change it, but I like that just for something different. And I seen this top on Amazon, and I got it at a reduced price, so I couldn't say no to it. It's very comfortable, and it's very cool. I'll put up a picture of it on Twitter later, and you can have a right look at it. It's very nice. But anyway, that's something different. Tonight's show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm not big into the draft thing of in who goes where or what, but I am going to look at all the teams and what they are looking for, in my opinion, especially the quarterbacks teams more so. Um, like how I deal with the draft is, yes, the Bills need certain players, but until you get them players, you don't know how, like who they're going to be right now. So you can't go saying, I want Johnny and I get Jimmy. So I'll wait until we get Jimmy, and then we'll work with Jimmy, and we'll see what happens afterwards. You cannot be going, oh, I need him, we have to get him. And I've listened to a lot of podcasts, brilliant podcasts this week. I've listened to Joe Marino, or I listen to Joe Marino all the time on Lockdown Bills, and he'd just say that you have to keep an open mind of about who you can get, and it is true. You know, I did a People's Choice draft with NFL Ireland this week. Thank you, Michael McQuaid and Jeff Reinbold, for having me on your show. I very much appreciate it. But I did the draft, and I was going to pick Chop Robinson as my first pick, defensive edge. It's something we need. We like Von Miller isn't Von Miller that signed before his injury, and we don't know what he's going to be like this year. We've had a lot of other injuries and a lot of other changes, and he's a guy that looks good. And I had sent on the pick to Michael, and it was looking good. And pick 27, the Arizona Cardinals picked Chop Robinson. So you can't, So I went then and I looked. I had another player. I had two players in mind. Chop was one, and Adonai Mitchell, wide receiver, Texas Longhorns, was the second. And that's who I ended up choosing. And it was a good choice, according to the guys. They were happy with it. It's a guy I wouldn't mind seeing coming. But it shows you that uh, if I had thrown all my eggs into Chop and then I got the text saying he's gone, if you hadn't someone else in the background, you were stuck. So that's why I'm a believer of wait until the guys are chosen and come to you, and then you make what you make out of them. Not, oh, well, we could have got him or we should have got him. But then this is the fun part of it. You look at who you might get or who you might not. So what I'm going to do with tonight's show is I'm going to talk about a few teams. I have the list of how the teams are drafted at the minute in round one. And then I wrote out the PAF mock draft. They put one up. And I'm just going to go through it now. Then I'm going to go through what our picks are, and that'll be it. Then just a couple other pieces of information. But the way it looks at the minute, I'm just going to do the top 10 picks. We're pick 28. So the top 10 picks are the Bears, Commanders, Patriots, Cardinals, Chargers, Giants, Titans, Falcons, Bears, and Jets. Then the three teams underneath are Vikings, Broncos, and Raiders. Now, the reason I mentioned them three teams after is for this. Going off the PFT mock draft, they have 3 quarterbacks going in the top 10 and one going number 11. Now, they have Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. going 28 and 29. Now, 28 isn't for the Bills, just so you can relax. But My point is, I've gone through the teams here. So the Bears. So the Bears are going to get a quarterback, and 99.9% sure it's Caleb Williams. I don't say 100% until the deal is done. Now, so I've heard on 2 or 3 different podcasts today that if Caleb Williams doesn't go to the Bears, it would throw the mock up in a heap, or throw the draft up in a heap. Sorry, excuse me, the draft. That it would change things so much. Now, I don't see how it'll do that, but then I am not an expert on the draft. Because if we just say the Bears picked a different player, say JJ McCarthy, instead of Caleb Williams, then would the Commanders, who are also in need of a quarterback number 2, just pick Caleb Williams? I don't see how it would throw the draft out that much. But anyway, let's go through this piece first, and then I'll talk. So the Bears are number 1, and they're going to pick Caleb Williams, 99.9% sure. The Commanders are number 2. Now, they are looking for a quarterback as well. And Jaden Daniels is one, or Drake May is the other. Now, PFT has Jake Daniels going to the Commanders. The Patriots are number 3. Now, I think the Patriots are in need of a quarterback. PFT thinks the Patriots are in need of a quarterback. But what they have done is they have traded number 3 with the Vikings, and the Vikings have taken Drake May as their quarterback. But the Patriots go down then to number 11, and then they take JJ McCarthy as their quarterback. Now, again, they get a second pick from the Vikings because of this, but would it not make sense to get the quarterback, if they wanted JJ McCarthy, hypothetically, then go and pick him? I'll talk about JJ McCarthy in a few minutes and give my thoughts on him. But anyway, the Cardinals then, they're the first team not picking a quarterback. They're number 4, and they look like they're going to get Marvin Harrison Jr., the top wide receiver, according to Joe Marino, the best player in the draft, bar none, ahead of Caleb Williams. Pound for pound. It's just he's a wide receiver, not a quarterback. Then the Chargers, according to the PFT, they take Malik Neighbors, wide receiver. Now here comes the Giants. The Giants, who I think need a quarterback, are taking a tackle in Joe Alt. And Daniel Jones is there. He's not 100% fit. He's coming back from an injury. They need a quarterback. They need someone big. They need a JJ McCarthy. We go through the Titans, then they take a tackle. The Falcons, they take an edge. The Bears, they take a tackle. And then we come to the Jets. The Jets take a tackle, according to PFT. I think the Jets need a quarterback because I'm not being smart. The other big news this week is Zach Wilson has gone to Denver, and I wish Zach Wilson the best luck. And I hope his career turns around and whatever issues he had in New York is sorted, and he gets on with his life and he balls out for Denver if he's given the chance. I hope he does. And I wish you well, Zach. But with him going, and the poor lad got awful abuse from everybody. Probably I give him some too, but most of it was undeserved because he was in a real awkward place there, especially when Rodgers went there. But you have Aaron Rodgers, I know will be number 1 starting, right? But Aaron Rodgers is 40 plus years of age, and he has just come off an Achilles injury, and I don't care how well he looks out there on a training field, moving and jiggling and the whole lot. When it comes to the business and how good is that Achilles going to last, or how well is his body going to last when he gets hit? And I think at 10, they have a chance to take a quarterback. Then you go down to the Vikings, who are at 11, according to PFT, will trade up to 3. They need a quarterback. The Broncos, I think they need a quarterback. They're at 12. And the Raiders at 13, 100% need a quarterback. So how the trades to get up to get these quarterbacks in real terms will work. Because going through the PFT's mock draft from 1 to 32 and going through what I think the teams that need a quarterback, including the Giants, there is 6 quarterbacks in PFT's draft in the first round chosen. And they are Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, and Michael Penix Jr. According to me, but then who am I? But anyway, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams, in my opinion, definitely quarterbacks, and one team named the New York Giants that I would say go get a quarterback, and they're at pick number 6. So I think there's a lot of trading and talks and stuff going to go ahead. I just read before I came on, but I don't know how true it is, that the Patriots have had a lot of laughable offers sent into them for the number 3 pick. From who they didn't say, but it's it'll be interesting to see, will they drop down from number 3. But if you need a quarterback, why? Like Bailey Zappi, I'm not been smart, ain't good enough. Um, you know, and Mac Jones is gone, and he wasn't good enough. He's gone to keep Trevor Lawrence under pressure, and I don't know, was Trevor Lawrence going to be laughing about it or not? But he's not a guy either. Like Mac Jones is not a guy that's going to really frighten anyone either. So if I was these general managers from these other teams that was looking for a quarterback, the Bears are number 1, so they're going to pick. I would pick JJ McCarthy, and the reason, he's 27-1 in college football. He knows how to win, and that is what the game is about. But that's my 2 cents. I'm not the Bears owner. I'm not looking at a guy that can consistently play and win game after game after game. I'm looking at a guy that has a better arm apparently and is more mobile. So good luck to them. But they're going to pick Caleb Williams. Number 2, the Commanders, Jaden Daniels. So you can't. They're both guys are looking for a quarterback. They're not going to change. Number 3, the Patriots. Well, if you're looking for a quarterback, and I think they are, and PFT has them taking JJ McCarthy at number 11, then why not take JJ McCarthy at number 3? You know, then we go to number 4. Now, I know the Cardinals are looking for a wide receiver, and I know the Chargers could take a wide receiver. So I don't think the Cardinals would trade 4. They know the top 3 teams are going to probably take a quarterback. In case Marvin Harrison Jr., who is the best player in the draft, apparently, bar none, is taken by the Chargers at number 5. So I don't see them moving. But then, if you were a Vikings, you might move the Giants, because going off this, nobody else is touching a wide receiver. Or you might move the Chargers to get into number 5. And then, if the Patriots take JJ McCarthy, you take Drake May, or vice versa. Both quarterbacks are top notch. So you'd have the Vikings going into 5, the Chargers dropping down to 11, the Giants at 6. Now, if I was the Giants, I'd be looking at the quarterbacks and going, right, 4 are gone. There's Bo Nix, and Michael Penix Jr. Either of them, I think they're both, like, they're 6-class quarterbacks. There's no, in college football, they're brilliant. Now, we don't know how they're going to turn out, but hopefully they'll turn out well. But you're going, Daniel Jones, I'm sorry, he doesn't excite me. I'm not a Giants fan, so I don't really care, but just talking neutral here at the minute, like, he mightn't come back right from his injury. It might be longer. Are we going to waste another season? And we have the 6th pick. And Penix or Bo Nix is there. And who knows, one of them 2 guys might be gone. And it could be one of the other 4 that's there. Then the Vikings have moved up. The Giants might. Then you have the Jets, the Raiders, and the Broncos. Now, the Broncos did just get Zach Wilson. We don't know what kind of Zach Wilson there is, but he's going to a good coach in Sean Payton. So he might improve him. He's also out in New York. It's a fresh start from. He might become the player that he was supposed to be in New York. And as I said, I hope he balls out for them. I hope he does well. So we could forgive the Broncos for not taking a quarterback, considering they just got Zach Wilson. And they might go, look at, we're going to press refresh and we're going to start him with zero and we're going to go with him. Which have the Jets and the Raiders will definitely need to get a quarterback. The Jets might just believe Aaron Rodgers is their savior, and he may well be. But if that guy gets an injury, what have they left? And if you had a Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. sitting there learning off Aaron Rodgers, give him a year or 2 years, whatever length it takes until Aaron goes, these are guys in that will have plenty of experience when they step into the shoes to take over. So I just think it's fascinating. Just this is only on the quarterback, where they will go and where they will not. Like, I'm glad we don't have to worry about it. We have our Josh, and please God, he'll be there for many, many, many a year yet before we have to start thinking about it. But these teams right now that are in transition and looking for quarterbacks and looking to hit the ground running, there's 6 very good quarterbacks there that have done very well in the last year and probably years. And JJ McCarthy, for me, is the best of them. He might not be the most exciting of them, but he's the best of them because he has the win records beside him and he has the championship beside him. And if you're 27-1 in 2 seasons, it says a lot. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the quarterback. As I said, I just looked at it there. Go down to ourselves, the Bills at 28. On the PFT draft, mock draft, they have the Bills trading up to number 12 with the Broncos to take Rome Odunzo. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Wide receiver. Now, I've listened to Joe Marino and I've listened to a couple other Bills podcasts as well. And I'm not in favor of that. He's a class wide receiver, but is he going to cost us more than what he's worth? As in, right, you give them the Broncos 28 for 12. What else have we given them? Now, it doesn't say it in their mock draft, but when you trade up, it could be given the first pick for next year as well. And there is an elite 3 or 4 wide receivers apparently in the draft, and then there's a step down, but then all after that is very, very good. And how many elite wide receivers have gone in the first 10 of the draft and made it? Like, it's usually the guys that are further down that make it because they have something to prove. So for my mock draft, we were number 28 when I did it with the people's draft, as you call it, with NFL Ireland. Our Pro Football Ireland is at NFL Ireland. If anyone wants to give them a check out, they're brilliant. Michael McQuaid, Mark Hogan, 2 of the top guys you'll meet. And Jeff Ryan Bowles' show, he was part of the show. I was 28. There was no trades up or down, so you just had to pick. As it says, Chop Robinson was going to be my first choice because we do need it. I know we are in dire need of wide receiver too, but he went in the draft here to number 12, or number 16, sorry, to the Seahawks. He didn't even get down to 27. He went in 27 on our draft. So I went to it, Adoree Mitchell, wide receiver, Texas Longhorns. And yes, the guy has a diabetic issue, but players, you have to adapt and you have to change and help them. And this guy is fast, strong, can catch, can run, can make yards, can do everything you want. Why not stay there and take the likes of him? Or, there's Xavier Leggett. He's another wide receiver. Or Xavier Worthy, another wide receiver. Any of them 3 guys are 3 guys that I am happy for the Buffalo Bills to take at 28. And if the Bills are going to trade, then why not trade down and you will still get some of them further down maybe swap with someone for a first round pick for a second round pick. I've heard different draft theories and the whole lot that, and maybe get a third round pick with that second round pick for dropping down. Because as of now, we have no third round pick. But these are the things that will happen Thursday night, and we will see, and the interesting things that we can talk about now. But I would not be trading up to number anywhere. I'm sorry, I wouldn't. Not even to number one if the offer came, because we don't need to. We have a class quarterback. We have one excellent tight end, one very good tight end. We have an excellent running back who's improving game by game. We have a wide receiver who has came from number 3 and rightly in my eyes will be, well, he would class as number 2, but number 1 wide receiver as of now in Kahil Shakir coming. And you have Samuel as well that came from the Commanders. And I have heard, but I don't know how true this is, that there's a possibility, and I've seen it up this evening, that Justin Jefferson could be traded from the Minnesota Vikings. That do not be surprised that Justin Jefferson is coming to the Buffalo Bills. It might only be a fairy tale, but right now it's a believable fairy tale that it could happen. So if that happens, then we don't need to worry about wide receiver other than having some backup or guys to build for the future or whatever. And that's our weapons. Now, I'm not counting Justin Jefferson as of now, but without Justin Jefferson, and if he stays a Viking, good luck to the lad. Then I would be looking at Xavier Leggett or Xavier Worthy or Adoni Mitchell or guys like that. I would 110% be looking for people like that. And if we can get one of them, then we build with them and we build our future with those guys. So that's my rough take on the first 10. I won't go through all the draft. As I said, I'm more of a person that will wait and see who you get and then talk about it than speculate, because my 2 cents there could be 100% wrong and it could be 100% right, or it could be somewhere in between. But for me, there's 6 class quarterbacks going in the draft, and there's 7 teams looking, in my eyes, and maybe an 8th out of the top 13 picks that should be seriously considering these 6 guys. But that's for them. I don't support them. I support the Bills. For us as the Bills, I would, at worst, stay at 28, right? Unless you get some amazing offer to drop down, stay at 28. Look at the board, look who's there. And if Xavier Leggett, Xavier Worthy, Adoni Mitchell, or if by some way Chop Robinson drops down to there, or something like that. Like, we need wide receivers, we need defensive edge, we need safety. Any of them 3 to start with, that's what we need to start getting. So wherever they land or wherever we can get in them positions, and I would be getting 2 wide receivers, 1 further down in other rounds, to bring in and develop and work with, because the more you have, the better you have. Now, just to go through as it stands at this minute, what pick numbers the Bills have. So in round 1, the Bills have pick number 28. In round 2, we've picked number 60. We have no round 3 as of now. In round 4, we have 128 and 133. In round 5, we've 144, 160, and 163. Round 6, we have 200 and 204. And round 7, we have 248. So as of now, we've 10 picks. Now, from what I've heard, Brandon Bean usually doesn't do above 7 or 8. But if you've got 10 picks and you can get players you can develop down in them lower rounds, take them and enjoy it, because there are players we're going to build for ourselves that we don't have to pay to buy, to bring in. And we already have great players playing for our team at the minute, so they can learn an awful lot of it. So that's my thoughts on the draft, folks. whatever you think, let me know. It'd be interesting to hear what your thoughts are. Would you trade up? Would you stay? Would you get something different to what I've chosen? Uh, if you follow the other teams, what do you think of the quarterback list? Do your teams need a quarterback, and who do you want? So, as I said, I was on NFL Ireland the last night. So, as I said, I just want to thank Michael McQuaid for asking me on, and Jeff Reinbold. Uh, very much appreciate it. It wasn't live, but we did a recording, and the video came on, and it was nice to see the guys like those big people and to be in on the same video. It was very enjoyable. Um, just a couple of things differently. Three teams have released new uniforms so far. So the New York Jets released one, and I'm a Bills fan, but I just have to say it looks class. Especially the green and white home one really looks nice. The Denver Broncos released one yesterday. I will be honest, the home jersey, not a fan of the orange one. I don't know, it looks kind of yellowy orange. It's not very nice. The white and the navy one look very nice. All right, I'll give them that. And then their alternative one, the one that it dates back to the old helmet with the G and the horse on it, which I thought was their best uniform ever. It looks class. So if you used to get one, the old one would be number one for me. And then the Detroit Lions, they released one there, I think it was about a week ago. So their blue home one, their white away one, and they released a black one. And all three of them look amazing. Have to say they're really catching the eye. So the kits, like they don't change them too often, like soccer. So I have to say, other than the Broncos home one, the other ones do look nice. The Jets white one looks nice as well, I have to say. It's just that Broncos, I don't know, they call it sunset orange, but it just looks like a yellowy orange. Now you have a look yourselves and see what you think, but it wouldn't be one now I'd be looking at. And that's everything I think for tonight, folks. I'll hopefully be doing a video again on Thursday, just before the draft starts. If there's any other news, it might be a quick one. If not, I'll wait until after the draft and maybe do one Friday when we have the first round and second round picks in. But we'll see. There's a lot of stuff going on. Also, just while I'm giving a shout out, I'll for the last time, I please give a shout out for NFL Ireland, Pro Football Ireland, Michael McQuaid, Mark Hogan, two Supermen. Also, a shout out for Gaelic Gridiron, Jimmy English. I've listened to his podcast today, and he was doing a mock draft for the first 10 with two of his colleagues, and it was very interesting as well. Joe Marino at Locked On Bills, awesome. Now, I have listened to the Orange and Brown podcast of the Cleveland Browns, and I've listened to Locked On Broncos as well, just to see what kind of trades or thoughts they're doing. And also Chris Sims. Like, there's a lot of brilliant podcasts out there. Then on YouTube, my good friends Nickel City Mafia, please give them a follow and watch. They're brilliant. Mike and Jake, two awesome guys, and they've all Rick, other fellas on as well. It's brilliant. Different shows. And the Overreaction Buffalo, John Fina, who was on here about a month or 2 months ago, and a few other guys, Joe Miller and Jerry. And until I've pronounced Jerry's name right, I don't want to say a second name, but former Bill, brilliant to see them and watch them and listen to their thoughts as former players. Very, very, very good show to watch. They do put them out 2 or 3 times a week, so if you get a chance to watch them or listen to them too. So that's everything for tonight, folks. Okay, as I say, thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the draft. Hopefully, I'll either do one Thursday or Friday morning. We'll see which way we go. I'll put it up on Twitter anyway, and X and Instagram, and let you know. And if you have any thoughts or comments, please give us a message down below, or a like and subscribe would be very much appreciated. And also message me on Twitter or Twitter X or Instagram. And if you have any thoughts on the show or whatever you want to talk about, let me know. I'm learning all the time, and it's an enjoyable thing. So anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you Thursday night or Friday morning, one of the two. And until then, as always, stay safe, stay happy, and go Bills.